Hi everyone, Dr. Chris Perron. Today I want to talk about stress, and more specifically managing our stress. This falls in the category very much so of what's within our influence and what's not within our influence, and just going very consciously and purposely after the things that we do have control over, as opposed to focusing much time and effort on things we don't have control over. And at this moment in time specifically, it's you've probably heard the stats on the exponential increase of phone calls into suicide hotlines around the country. Pretty sad, but very real. And even talking to a few people in the office, not about suicide, but definitely heightened stress, and totally get it. Why? Well, stress comes from a few different things, but two big ones. And very much in play right now are when we feel out of control, when we don't have control of our lives, or perceived control. We never really have total control. And then you add on top of that mortality, the potential of death. You put those two together and it is a recipe for anybody to feel stress. I've certainly felt plenty of stress over the last couple months, as I'm sure many of you have as well. But what we try to go back to, again, is what can we do about it individually? And then individually, the better shape we're in, then the better we are, obviously, for feeding our inner circles and our communities as we interact with everybody else in our world. So just a few bullet points of things. You might wonder why I do these outside. I love being outside. And UV light is really important. Sunlight is really important for our health in general. And then on top of that, you may or may not have seen a news lab study that came out of the same lab that was created back from the anthrax scares years ago. So they're pretty top-end stuff. And what they did is they were measuring what kind of environments can coronavirus manage. It's known to be not a super tough virus, but it's specific from place to place. And the number one factor by far was that it does not like sunlight. It does not like UV light. We don't get that in our homes. In fact, so much of a difference when they tested it, in UV light, different temperatures, different humidities, the UV light being the common theme, to where it can only last minutes. And I'm talking under 5, maybe 10 tops. So we're talking really quick, and that's on surfaces and even less time in the air. Versus inside, and that's where most of these studies where you see it lasting for long periods of time, that's in a lab setting that's very ideal for things to be able to survive, because there isn't movement of air, there's not heat, there's not humidity, there's not a high temperature, and so on. So indoors in your own house, it actually shows that it could last for hours. So do you want minutes or do you want hours, right? And that on top of that, the recent studies coming out of New York State showing that people staying home were still the ones that were going to the hospital way more than anybody else. And in fact, now you get into some of the southern states like Florida, and they were showing that they have very low hospitalizations in the areas where people are just prone to be outdoors more. This is more of a lifestyle down there. So I really, really would love for everybody to get outside. It's super sunny today. It's supposed to be pretty decent this weekend. But take advantage of sunlight and get some. I know you don't want to be around too many people. None of us do. But it's pretty easy. Sit on your own front step. If you don't have a front step, churches and schools are not open. They're not going to be for a while still. They have big parking lots, and they're usually flat. Good place to take a walk. If you work out indoors, awesome. Exercise is a big piece of managing our stress as well. That's totally fine. Just get out and get the sunshine on top of it. I work out in my basement most of the time. I like that version. But I like to sit outside and just get some sun because it feels good and it is good. A couple other things, again, watch what you're eating. There's lots of jokes, probably not jokes, about people packing on a little weight because they're just sitting at home eating all the time. And I get it, but it's more about what you eat than how much. So you're not going to get fat on salad. So make sure you are getting fresh fruit, because nutrients is what our body desires. And the better we have nutrients in our body, the more calm our body is. So that's how it does get into stress. Versus if we're eating a lot of stuff, but it's got not a whole lot of nutrients, our body is still going, give me more. And that's why you can eat a whole bag of chips. I've done it before. And still be hungry. And the reason is because we didn't give it the materials that it wants. Our body wants nutrients, not food. Different. The other big one is sleep. I know we've talked about it, but 7 to 9 hours is key. Another big piece that I might not have highlighted is routine. Our bodies really like routine. If you can try and stick to a bedtime that is within range, say within an hour on a regular basis, even though your days might be a little bit more flexible than they typically are, because you don't have to get up and get people to school, you don't have to get to the office, things like that. I understand there's a lot more latitude of schedule, but it'd be really good for you to try to stick with a schedule for sleep, so that you have a regular routine and your body will be much more calm and happy as a result of that. Other than that, the big one is what we feed our minds, right? So the news, not a lot of good stuff there. It's become very repetitious, so we do not need to watch it a lot. You tune in once a day, if that, you'll get everything you need within probably 15 minutes. Other than that, social media really depends on your circle on social media. If it's a lot of not good, negative stuff, then you probably want to limit it, obviously. If it's a place where you're having fun with friends, then obviously that'd be a very positive version of it. So it's more about the content, like anything else. Same idea with TV or movies. Try to watch some, as my daughter says, rom-coms, or something funny, something uplifting, something inspiring. Try to feed your head with as much kind of positive, have a laugh, something makes you smile. All those things really do have a chemical reaction in our bodies that helps to offset all the negative of the pandemic of the moment. Books obviously are good, and other than that, a few patients have asked me that I should probably spread the word a little bit more than I do, and it's a newish thing, and I'm not used to products at the office because I don't really push that way. I believe in ourselves, but one product that we have had for quite a while now that a lot of people have gotten a lot of benefit from, in telling me flat out, is CBD oil. CBD oil is pretty easy stuff. It's kind of a newish thing on the market, and the reason we have it at the office is I want to make sure that you're getting what you're paying for. So A, it's quality. B, that it doesn't have any THC. THC is the stuff that gets people high, and government regulations do allow a very small amount in any bottle. Ours has 0, so none at all, because they don't allow enough to where it's going to have an actual impact on somebody, but it might have an impact on a clearance test, for instance, for work, and that would be a pretty bad thing. So that's why we have it, is 0 THC, high quality stuff. We just want to make sure if you're going to try it and see what it does for you, then you might as well go with something that's good. So if you want to try that out, if you're having trouble sleeping, that's probably one of the most common things. And other than that, people will report back that they just kind of feel more level. They don't kind of go with the roller coaster of emotion quite as much. They just feel more settled, and that's what they can tell. It's not like you take it and I feel a certain way. It's not how it works, and it's good. It shouldn't work that way. But it decreases inflammation in the body in general. So whatever's not good, it helps. What level? You never know. So if you wanted to try some, we do have it at the office, and it's actually less expensive now than it was even a couple months ago, because the suppliers are actually reducing their prices, which is nice, and we pass that along to you. So that people have something other than pharmaceuticals, alcohol, other things that wouldn't be quite as good. Not saying you need it, but if you were, I don't know, if you're not sleeping regularly, then it'd be worth a shot, because not sleeping regularly would be a much bigger deal. So that's all I wanted to share. Things that are good for us. Go after feeding the good, because that's really how health works. We can't beat away bad. All we can do is rise up to the challenge so that we are ready for it, and therefore we manage it a lot better. And stress certainly falls in that category, especially right now. All right, everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy some sunshine, and look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.